Now hear this. You're listening to charlietrix, remise, and jhanboom.
Damn you, Jada!
You know what time it is.
Yes, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is The Fair's Perspective. I am your host, charlietrix, and I'm here with my brother,
Remise. What's good, everybody?
Remise is in the building, and we got my man,
It's your boy jhanboom. What's happening?
jhanboom as well.
You dig.
It is Saturday, October 14th. It's
Woo.
actually a rainy, kind of shady gray day, but I really like it actually at the moment. It's perfect day to be inside recording and getting another show off.
Pow.
Episode 92, in case you're keeping up. There's a lot of fun stories we're going to talk about
Hell yeah.
today.
You know
How
it.
are you gentlemen feeling before we set it off?
Doing well. Just got back from a vacation. Then I hit up Comic-Con. So I've had an eventful few weeks.
Nice.
And now we can get back on the roll doing this.
Speaking of Comic-Con, you met somebody who I really enjoy.
Hell yeah.
DMC.
For
There
sure.
you go. Shout out to DMC. Run DMC.
He got a new comic that he's producing himself, I believe.
Nice.
And he was very enthusiastic, super cool, super friendly.
Yeah.
Signed something for everybody that came up to his booth and supported, and he was really cool. So shout out to
Nice.
DMC.
Yes.
I got to meet
Sizzy.
a member of Run DMC. It was really
Let's
cool.
go.
Boom. How you
Yo,
doing?
feeling great, man. Saturday, you know, it's a little bit shitty outside, but it ain't shitty in here. You feel me? We're back in a new episode. You know, Remy's coming back from vacation. I'm about to go on vacation. Going back to the motherland, trying to resolve this issue with Haiti. They need my assistance out there. I'm on my way.
Yes. All right. I guess let's get right into it. We got a lot of funny stuff we're going to talk about today. Setting it off, Remy say.
You know it.
Yep, I wanted to start off. It's October. Halloween is approaching.
Yes.
It's a month of horror, so I wanted to have a horror-related story that I thought was kind of funny.
My
Let's get
favorite, by the way.
Yeah.
So, from BusinessInsider.com, Florida fourth graders chose a violent, unrated Winnie the Pooh slasher film to watch in class. Now, parents are angry that the teacher agreed to show it.
Whoa. Is that the same one you were recommending to me to watch?
We've discussed it a few times.
Right, okay.
Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it, but we could discuss that, in a minute. Parents complained after a teacher showed students in his fourth grade math class at a charter school in Miami Springs, Florida, a violent reimagining of Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is an unrated slasher film that follows the beloved character going on a killing spree after being abandoned by his sidekick, Christopher Robin.
Whoa.
The film was released in February after Winnie the Pooh became public domain the year before. So, Michelle Diaz, a parent of two children at the Academy for Innovative Education, told the outlet her twins were shown the film by their math teacher for 20 to 30 minutes before students started to complain. So let me fill in a little bit on this.
I was going to say, wait a minute. So a fourth grade class watched
Whoa.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and
The
Honey.
slasher
Blood and
movie?
Honey, it was their lunch break.
Crazy.
So they were eating lunch in the class that day, and they asked the teacher if they could put on Winnie the Pooh.
Whoa.
The teacher was like, Winnie the Pooh, sure, threw it on. And it's lunch break, probably in and out of the room, not paying too much attention. Meanwhile, Piglet is breaking necks. Winnie is feeding people to meat grinders and shit. Like, really grisly stuff. This is a messed up slasher
I've actually
Crazy.
seen about half of that movie. It is pretty. It's a slasher, flick of, and they're really like gross and like grotesque.
Yeah, horrific.
The way they look.
The whole thing was just, let's see what practical effects we can do and horror effects of murders.
It's
Because
not
there's no
for fourth
plot.
graders, I can tell you that.
Certainly not for a classroom of
Whoa.
fourth graders.
Definitely not. I think at that time I was still terrified of horror. So if I would have seen that, man, your boy jhanboom would have had 2 nightlights on.
So what happened?
up.
So for the rest of that story, so what happened? The teacher.
So when the teacher realized what was going on, apparently the teacher turned it off.
Oh my
now
God.
the teacher's claim is 15 minutes, and the mother in this story claims 20 to 30 minutes or so. So, and there's
Wow.
also debate about whether the students were trying to get the teacher's attention and flag the teacher and be like, turn this shit off. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm having nightmares. But
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is a grisly movie. There's no plot to it. Basically, Christopher Robin went to go to college,
but
left them behind. They
But
got hungry in
didn't some kid do this like to be funny?
So I think so. So it says a student asked to put the movie on.
That's what I'm saying. The student knew what they were. Just fourth grade. They're not
Scammers.
babies.
Damn.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not that
getting ready for
out
pranks.
of it. But yeah, so student says, "Can I throw Winnie the Pooh on?" And it's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh,
And it starts with a little.
That's kind of
animation.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
shout
yeah.
out to that.
Hell yeah.
That student's the next great horror director. Hopefully not a sociopath.
Yo, that's what's up, man.
And it's perfect timing for October, Halloween month.
Wish I
Kid
thought it was
hit
out
him
in
with the
fourth grade.
okie doke, threw on the slasher Winnie the
Pow.
Pooh. There you
Yup,
go.
shout
Teachers
out.
getting fired.
Shout
Teachers
it
on the block.
out. Shout it out.
But yeah, and I think just for the sake of it, there's some new horror movies out. Have you guys seen anything that you would recommend?
Yo, I'm still coming around to seeing. I haven't seen Talk to Me yet.
Oh,
man,
you know, John,
that's the one.
I finally saw Talk to Me.
Yeah?
So this is what happened. I saw it in 2 sessions.
Okay.
I saw Talk to Me. I finally got a good copy. And the last 15 minutes, the fucking copy goes to shit on me. I didn't
Damn.
see the ending, which everybody said was the best part of the movie.
Right.
Finally, I saw the movie and I got the ending. The ending is the best part of the movie. The movie's great.
Right.
All the way through.
The ending just really, it hits you with a 1-2 piece.
The whipped cream.
It's everything you need. I really enjoyed it, so you should check it out.
All right, it just dropped to Amazon to $4.99.
Oh, it's that time now.
That time it was 20, now it's $4.99.
You gotta get that
Yeah.
Prime deal.
You dig for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, but speaking of horror movies, what else do we got that's out? I bothered to throw on that new Pet Cemetery. That was absolutely horrendous.
Felt like
Don't
a
waste
cash
your
grab.
time.
Like newer than the one that came, the remake essentially that came out.
Yeah, no, this is
one
another
just
one.
dropped.
The
Yeah.
remake
Got
was
you.
okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as the original, but it
For
was
sure.
all right. I didn't hate it.
This was so unfortunate because it had a lot of good actors.
Word.
It had like
David
you
Duchovny.
could tell it was
Oh,
shot
okay,
well.
okay,
It had
okay.
like a good movie budget, I guess, because everything was shot great. The storyline was really silly and it just didn't make. I don't know. It was
Didn't
boring.
get ya, for sure.
Yeah.
There really wasn't much of a point.
Which
I'll also
was it a
throw
stream
in-
or is like
Yeah,
somebody
that's on
else?
Paramount.
Stream, yeah,
Paramount?
so-
Okay.
yeah.
Straight to streamer.
Got
know,
you,
But
got you.
I went to the movies to see Exorcist Believer, and I was really disappointed.
Oh, word.
This is like
Okay.
The Exorcist's greatest hits done less good, and with 2 girls instead of 1. But
Got you.
it was weak. I was not a fan at all. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah, I think we got a couple duds in the horror genre
Damn,
this
okay,
week.
to a couple L's, but
supposedly Netflix, The Fall of the House of Usher, everybody's really hyping that up as a good show. So
Okay.
that's a series
Give it
by
to
Mike
us.
Flanagan,
And it's
who
out
did,
already?
The Haunting at Hill House, and I forget the other one he did, but he's done really good series so far. That just came out yesterday for Friday the 13th. And also,
Nice.
John Carpenter, who I also got to meet at Comic-Con. That was awesome. Director of The Thing, Halloween. He's got a new series that dropped on Peacock. I don't remember the name of that one, but I think it's like a true
you're
stories
right.
type joint, like a Unsolved Mysteries type thing.
You're right.
But with
Yeah.
monsters and cryptids.
I do want to check both of those out. Those definitely look good.
pow.
So I do got horror recommendations for your Halloween gear. And
Don't worry. Remy,
J4
yo.
Remy on Letterboxd. I got a list
All
of
right.
31 movies for 31
You
days
drop
up to October.
Yeah, right. I be watching Remy. Remy's the real deal, man. Kind of
Yeah,
shit.
I started doing it, but I fell off.
All right, no doubt.
I got hooked
So
on Game
far.
of Thrones. I've been watching that.
Oh, okay.
I'm 14 movies deep.
All right, let's move it on. Boom.
Yo, so speaking of horrors that are coming out, Jada Pinkett Smith is releasing a memoir that's coming out that is speaking about a couple different things. Jada Pinkett Smith is coming out with a memoir book. You know, hopefully you don't get it, but by the time this drops, it'll probably be out there in the stores. But this is what we're talking about. So one of the main things that she touches on is the fact that she's been split with Will Smith since 2016, which, you know, pow, pow, pow. To us, that is crazy because, as you know, last year during an award show, famous comedian and our favorite motherfucking comedian, Chris Rock, got slapped in the face for saying the comedic joke towards the baldness of Jada Pinkett Smith.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
God damn. So to us,
So
to
they
the
weren't
people,
they weren't even together.
they
when the
wasn't
smack
even
happened?
together when the slap happened, which at the end of the day is even crazier because that means Chris Rock took a slap in the face for no reason. So some of the that is a terrible, terrible thing, man. And besides what she's talking about, well, let's talk a little bit about that because now she's dragging Will Smith once again through the mud again in this new memoir where she's saying that Tupac was her soulmate. You know, he asked her to marry her during his visit when he was in Rikers in jail. But the slap itself is ridiculous, man, because that means they wasn't together and it was just an emotional outburst. And was she behind the motherfucking slap that led to it? Or what do you think, man?
So the plot thickened on that one. I read something that said she also mentioned that Chris Rock hit her up about going out after the rumors that they were splitting up came out. So I wonder if that played a role in Will getting pissed and throwing
Since we're
an
gonna
open hand fist.
if we're gonna TMZ it here,
Let's speculate.
I also saw that at the same time that happened, Chris Rock had just went through a divorce. But I know absolutely nothing, and this whole piece of information could be complete
allegedly.
garbage.
This
You
is
know
all
what I'm
stuff
saying?
I see on Twitter when I'm scrolling
You
through
know what
my
I'm saying?
This is
homepage.
super unverified.
And as you know, in TFP, we don't really go to the entertainment news, but the slap and the situation came back so fierce on the internet that we had no fucking we had to
Didn't
talk
we
about
also
it.
Well,
discuss
look.
the entanglement? But I don't know if that ever actually made it
story,
onto the air.
the story fits in twofold, though. It is Halloween month.
Boom.
It is month of horror, and that situation is
horror,
fucking
man.
horrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible, man.
Will Smith, man, he stuck around through a lot of
Through a
headaches,
lot of
huh?
shit, man. I think that night everything probably
Good for
just
the
built
family.
up, and it was just like, nah,
Yeah,
I gotta
maybe.
take this hit, even though she ain't.
The thing is, I guess it's just growing up watching Will Smith movies
Right.
and watching him come from, Nightmare on my street up to
Freddie
summertime,
lives next door and shit.
up to this massive mega star. I like to see Will Smith winning,
Yeah,
and
It sucks to see him go out like this.
this is a terrible
Hopefully
way.
there's a
no,
bounce
I don't
back.
think he
There's a
wa-
bounce back.
No,
on
no,
this.
he's not.
Too-
He's not. It's not that he's losing. Obviously, the guy's still rich, famous,
Been
and
dragged
living
through
better
the
than
mud, though.
anybody. But it's sad to see the aura around. These memes going around,
Right.
and him in tears and the
Drinking
situation.
Hennessy and it's just
he replaced
dragging him, man.
the crying Jordan meme for a while.
I just want to
that's
know what
rough.
that conversation
Yeah,
is
I like
at the
to see
home.
Will Smith winning.
Exactly, man. Now it affects his movie, and I want to see that conversation at the crib. Like, is it like, yo, I'm about to drop this memoir. You okay with that? But I talk about, the
I don't think
2006.
she gives a fuck.
She don't give a shit, man. Which is terrible. Woman, don't be like Jada Pinkett Smith, man. You do shit like this to us, it's gonna kill us, man. Emotionally, our career, money. Don't do this to us, man. And don't drop a memoir during the Halloween month. It's a scary book. That's what that shit is.
Damn you, nigga!
I'm scared to read that motherfucker. What we're
Full
gonna find out
circle.
in that shit.
Full circle from Freddie lives on my street to
Seriously,
this new memoir.
that was what the
Entanglement
song
with
was
Jada.
foreshadowing.
All this time later.
Yo, that is crazy.
Oh man, damn,
Shout out.
bro. Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel Air was my shit.
But
I even like the remake.
There's supposed to be a new. What's the one where he's the last dude and he's
I Am
killing?
Legend?
I Am Legend. There's
Two.
supposed to be a new one coming out.
Man, I'm not looking. I'm
Nah.
upset about that.
Why are you
Because
upset
I Am
about it?
Legend is a very set. It's like a classic book. It has a very clear ending. They ruined that shit in the original movie, and
Yeah, you
now they're
can't
just gonna keep
throw
going.
Michael B. Jordan anywhere and expect us just to watch the movie. What the fuck, man? Just
If
make
you
it-
put Michael B. Jordan in, it's kind of up to sales.
that's what they doing. Hey, just put him in the
Got
motherfucker,
Michael B. Jordan on.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Just make it I Am Legend too. Michael B. Jordan.
Is he gonna be a bad guy or a good guy?
He's probably going to be like, because nowadays what they do is these older actors, they get like a protege for him.
Right.
So he's probably going to be like a Will
smart
Smith.
ass.
Like, Will Smith is probably going to get injured early, then he's going to go in the path to get him the medicine and shit.
First, Will Smith helps him and shows him the ropes, but he's the immature Will Smith character, and then he takes Will Smith's place as the grizzled veteran.
Guaranteed. That guy, that's like the movie he did with his son. It was the
Formula.
same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one where they were in that, like in space, or you know that movie.
Didn't like that movie.
The weird accent that they were doing really freaked me out in that movie.
Yeah, that one wasn't good. I watched it because I thought, it's the family thing. We love Will Smith at that time, but if he plays that now,
Get this shit off.
I am turning it off.
You know who got me just from seeing that I saw Jamie Foxx had a new movie out on Prime. Immediately threw that shit on just because I know he's.
That's what I'm saying. I watch everything Jamie Foxx, and I watch everything Will Smith too.
Yeah, and you know what? Jamie Foxx bodied it. It's called Burial. It's like a lawyer taking on the man type movie.
Oh, that's out already?
With Tommy Lee Jones. That just dropped, and I loved it. 2 hours had me sitting there glued.
I'm gonna watch that shit.
Jamie Foxx kills it.
I had that on standby.
I'm getting in on that as well.
Let's do it. Jamie Foxx is back. Will Smith is out.
All right. Let's keep this moving right along. So I wanted to talk a little bit in this next section story. We had spoken not too long ago about was it on the 50th anniversary of hip hop, maybe that episode, but it was about how the props to the old school artists, how they were still out there doing their thing.
Yup.
And I was just saying I like to see how they're doing. They're shining right now. And this right now, I wanted to talk a little bit further into that particular field right now. I read this quote that Talib Kweli put out, and I'm just going to read it for you because this is going to piggyback on that previous story. So here is from Talib. Someone said hip-hop sales were down 40%. Me and my brothers couldn't tell. We're too busy doing these brilliant shows. That must be commercial rap they're talking about, because real hip-hop artists never did it for sales and have never been defined by sales. If I had to depend on record sales for survival, my career would have been over years ago. Cultural currency is far more relevant. This is why legacy hip-hop acts are selling out arenas and radio acts are struggling to do the same.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, I actually have pulled up the 40% comment.
Pow.
But it's not from somebody that I actually think he deserves his props. It's from 3-6 Mafia's Juicy J that made that comment.
For sure.
What he said, and he put out a video, and he said, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but rap music is down 40% this year. Check the charts, check the math. What are we as rappers, producers, composers going to do about this shit? Let's have a conversation. What are we going to do? We got to figure some shit out. We got to sit down and talk. Let's have a meeting. Let's meet up somewhere. Have a big-ass meeting. Let's talk about this shit and how we can turn it around, because this is how we eat. This is how we make money. So that was like a speech he gave. And a lot of people have been coming out and responding. And
Well, reading that that from Talib, that just brought me back to what I've been seeing more and more of lately. And I will say, I kind of agree with Talib in the sense that I'm seeing all the OGs just doing really big shows and and not just doing the shows, but looking really performing the hell out of
knowing
it.
How to rock a crowd.
Rocking the crowd. The people are engaged, and I'm not seeing the same kind of situation, especially for some of the newer school artists that are out there. When they're out there, it's like they're really struggling from what I'm seeing. Like, the stage presence isn't really the same.
Right.
The engagement with the crowd isn't hitting the same. But, not to take any away from that, but just to give more props to the old school artists of hip hop that really struggled and grinded to get to this point, and now are just having this shining moment where it's like, look at this core of the culture just brilliantly shining out there.
Yeah, we've talked about Nas putting out stuff on Spotify and bodying right now. He's killing the game with his stuff. I see Redman constantly dropping new stuff. That's pretty
Redman's
dope.
Jack Boy Beats series is fantastic.
Killing it.
What he's doing, recreating these songs and delivering. I hope this is gonna be followed up with an album. I hope he's gonna follow us up with some banger.
Yup.
Something else for me to love, about Redman.
Yup. DMC was handing out a card that you could scan, and he has new music. So the OGs are still putting out music. They can still do their thing. And, I think what helps them out is they have a base of fans that have been here for a long time for rocking with them. And they're all, like, original. I feel like originality is something that's not as big anymore. It's like everybody's chasing a stream. Everybody's chasing... I saw somebody call it fast food music. It's like fast food rap.
Yeah.
You're trying to just get that real quick hit in or something that people can repeat, and then that's it. That's your clip.
Yeah,
it's a TikTokable moment.
And and speaking of OGs and people having a moment, Natural Elements just dropped their single "We Could Exist," and man, it's an awesome track. It's available on a bunch of different platforms. Basically, all your major platforms has it available. But shout out to El Swig and Vu doing their thing on that, and it's good to see a lot of people pumping it and getting the attention it deserves, because that's real New York hip hop, and just
stretching Babito hip hop.
Just nice to see, and it's nice to see that happening in conjunction with all of these old school artists out there, and really just having that moment, man. I'm really happy for hip hop at this moment in time, because we had a lot of conversations where it was like, what's going on in hip hop? We talked about the conversation with Andre 3000,
Word up,
saying how there's no more real art in hip hop.
Word.
And it's like, well, if we going back to the roots with a lot of these guys, where it was a little more artistic, and those guys are having their moments. So it's nice.
And there's still, there's still talent out there. You just gotta find it. I don't think it's promoted the way that some of the hip hop that I'm not a fan of is promoted. So, the mainstream stuff just isn't what I rock with anymore. But I do think, like, there's a dude, I gotta pull him up on Spotify. I heard an album that I actually was really
And right now, what's hot in the streets, Offset's is dropping a new album. I keep it within the same gang. Set It Off. That shit is lit, popping, unique. The visuals are right. He's putting a lot of dedication into his craft. He put a whole music video making a tribute to Michael Jackson, so it had different parts of the Thriller movie. Super dope. New, just unique and coming. I mean, no pause on that. I don't know if you've seen the Funk Flex freestyle when this drops. That shit murdered that shit. But they've been killing freestyles like that for a while. If you hear the previous one that they did, it was him, Takeoff, RP, Quavo. They've been progressing and getting better at freestyle. I
have a question for you, Johnny.
For sure.
And maybe you could chime in on this too, Remy. But where does Quavo, Offset, Migos, where do we categorize them at this point in time? They're not exactly OGs, but they're also not exactly new school anymore. Like, do they fit into OG by now?
They do.
They
do, because they've been killing it and completely changed the game 10 plus years strong now. And if you want to put them in a category, you could honestly just put them in pop music.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned
because
before,
each genre has their style. From reggaeton to even down fucking reggaeton definitely took.
Well,
their
they
craft.
definitely crossed over into pop, but I'm just talking about in age of their.
Well, here's what I say: their influence is clear. You can hear it in a lot of what comes after, and it's new generation rappers that have a bit of that Migos flavor to their flow or how they rock. Or even
it
now,
seems like a newer
style, but their style, they added something to hip hop. So I think they get OG status.
I guess how long has it been around?
It's been a long time.
Yo, it's gonna be not 10 in total. I'm gonna go. They have a solid 15 years in the game. They've been killing it consecutively. Had this flow, have it developed, have it become better, have it become popular and spread all over.
In that sense, Migos is a score on the scoreboard for the OG column.
Yeah.
At this stage, I think so. We should just claim them for, and then we can complain about, modern the new school, the
Yeah,
new jacks that are bad.
You know,
Although
Lil
the rapper I was looking for is Nick Grant. He dropped an album called Sunday Dinner, and I was like, I hadn't really heard him besides a couple of freestyles, but I wanted to see, and I think he put a really solid rap album out, like a good album.
let's get it.
Yeah, and before we jump into the next piece of this puzzle, I wanted to give a shout out, and I don't think we did in the last episode because it was prior. Shout out to KOTD for the Blackout event, which was amazing as it always is. Their Blackout event is to me one of the funnest hip hop battle events to watch.
Yeah.
Word.
But this year was just, man,
A lot of great battles.
Great battles, man.
Y'all put me onto a lot of that shit. That's the shit y'all watch over here,
Yeah,
right?
Yup,
man.
yup.
Some crazy shit be happening, real raw.
Yeah.
That Big
Pause.
K battle was
Big K versus Sharon.
that Big K battle was crazy. That was
Yup,
pretty
yup.
nuts.
And then Real Sick versus A Ward, incredible.
Real Sick versus A Ward got fiery.
And Immaculate versus Rum Nitty was.
And Real
I
Sick
think,
is from Jersey, right?
Yeah, he's a Jersey rat.
Shout out to Real Sick. He had a nice performance there. A Ward
Performance
came
of the
with fire
weekend.
too, but he represented hard for Jersey.
Yeah.
So shout out to my
Real
man.
Sick had the performance of the weekend, I thought.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, I thought like something it was voted on
Nah,
and shit.
It might,
Can I go in
you
there
know.
though? Y'all think I'm ready to do at least 3 rounds in that earthquake?
You
or
know what? Maybe we could
Little practice.
talk to Gully and get you in on the
You know what I'm saying? on the amateur
Yeah,
freestyle
yeah, on the up
battles?
and coming league or something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, man. I
You know, I think-
want some smoke.
I don't know if he still does it. Serious Jones had a Jersey-based battle league.
Oh, there's plenty of battle
There's
leagues
a lot of
around.
leagues around.
Right.
There's
You can
definitely
test
one
your
in Philly, too.
skills.
There's one in Lodi. I'm about to pop up to the
Call him out.
VFW.
What's it at the VFW?
Yeah, that's where it be at. I'm gonna pull up,
John Boom at the VFW battling.
battling.
Speaking of battling,
Oh, so I wanted to talk about the latest beef that a lot of people had hit me up about, which was Joe Budden and Drake beefing.
Whoa.
Because
Joe Budden versus Drake.
yeah, but nobody's rapped yet, not a single bar. It's just them going back and forth. And
It's a
petty
battle
ways.
without
It's a petty-
rap, without rapping.
Word.
It's a petty beef, yeah.
Yeah.
So first, Joe Budden did his podcast. He was complaining about Drake's new album. And he's like, he's rapping for children. At one point, he was like, you know, you are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You're going to be 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger dudes and stop fucking these 25-year-olds. And then he said, I want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. He's rapping for the kids, the streams, the accolades. He ain't trying to rap to me. I accept that. And, you know, went off. So Drake left under like a clip of it, a long comment. And like the lengthy clip includes this part. Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you are doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their, later on, a quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity.
Damn.
He went in on him.
He went in on him. He was like, your music was for, dudes in the Nietzsche jeans who are waiting for Mood Music 27 to drop. Like, really went in. And
It
then he
sounds
was
like the gloves were off right from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
yeah, the gloves were off.
Like
Just
Budden didn't come in easy on that review.
He was
Never
harsh. But I actually, none of it was rapped.
Was Budden correct about his review?
You know what? I haven't listened to the new Drake album. The songs I've listened to,
I haven't
in the
heard it, so I have
excerpts,
no
I've
idea.
heard it's not bad. But it's did see one person, FD Signifier on YouTube, say that same thing. Like it sounds like it's like a immature sound to it. He hasn't evolved. But I don't know. I didn't listen to it yet. I will throw it on to try and at least have an honest opinion rather than.
I gotta be honest
the
with
gun.
you. I don't know what they mean by mature. I have to check it out. However, what's that song where Drake does the verse where he's like, hotter than wasabi, I race for your love, shake and bake, Ricky Bobby. You know that song?
Yeah.
That song, to me, I like that verse. I think that's one of his dopest verses.
He's got good throughout his
Good
career. He's
music.
always had good
And that's
shit,
more like
solid
young
music.
and kind of playful is what I'm saying, getting at.
But I just think he never had that crossover where he always felt like a pop rapper to me. You know, we were
Word.
talking about like a streamer rapper. He never had that piece of music. Like if you ask me who's the best rapper of this or of the era before this, because now they're kind of aging out. But J. Cole and Kendrick come to mind before Drake for me. And I think a lot of the people that are fans of lyricism don't put Drake on that level. And I think Drake is salty about it because like Drake came up and his favorite rapper was Fonte, who was another dope lyricist. I think the type of respect that Joe Budden gets as a lyricist is something that Drake would aspire to, a younger version of Drake would aspire to. Now he talks sales, you know, champagne poppy. But I think there was an era where Drake wanted that role in hip hop to be the man.
You know, I think you kind of also got to look at it in a different sense of like success in sales and performance and selling out arenas. And then there's this kind of like other side of hip hop where it's like the art, the judgment by the art, you know, and that side of it. And then that tries to cut out its own kind of, you know, I don't know, way that it weighs the artist, you know.
So I think, and there's other aspects of how you are an artist, because there are dudes who I don't think make great rap music, but who can rock a live crowd that I give props for that. Like I've seen like Lil Yachty tear down a show, and I was like, damn, I respect that, you know? And I don't really rock.
Yeah, you know, Yachty was
J. Cole
somebody.
on Yachty
Yachty
shit,
was somebody who surprised me when I saw him go out there and control the crowd, and I was like, "Wow, that's MCing right there."
That's an MC. That's a master.
When I first hear his music, I'm like, "This is very basic," you know. But when I saw him handle that crowd, I was like, "Oh wow, this is." He knows what he's doing. You know, he's out there handling this shit.
Dude, man. Travis Scott, too. He's an animal.
Travis Scott is no
Live
joke.
performer.
He's another man who handles that crowd like he's good at that, you know? And it's nice. Like, I watched Nas doing that at, what was that summer? That was the 50th anniversary performance. Another man just handling the crowd, just, you know, just moving it.
And you know when you see it. Like, if you've been to a live show with Busta or KRS are the two that always come to mind. There's a different energy to how they rock a crowd and how they control a stage to 90% of the people you'll see perform. And there's just levels to it. At the end of the spectrum, I think it's Busta Rhymes, KRS One are like
and
best I've
Nelly.
ever seen.
But you know, but I think that's the situation though. You know, when I think about Drake, is that the guy is winning. He drops it. The artistic side of things, people might say, "Oh, this is lacking here, there, or whatever." On the other side, guys selling out arenas and breaking records,
hooks that everybody remembers.
So, you know, it's kind of hard to argue against that. You know,
now, but I will say that it's weird to see him always get salty when critics make fun of his shit. Like, I remember there was a dude on YouTube, I can't think of his name, but the dude put out DMs because the dude made a bad YouTube review, and Drake was like DMing him. It's 3:00 in the morning, and Drake's DMing the YouTube reviewer that gave him bad words.
maybe he's sensitive about his music, man.
He wants everybody to love him. You know what I'm saying?
He's sensitive about his music.
The comment to Joe Budden was way too long. At least Budden's doing it on a microphone for 2 minutes. He's ranting, but Drake sat there and like.
Drake should have
Punch
done the
that shit
same
in.
thing that the Migos did when Joe Budden was hating on them. You know what I'm saying? They made a song, the shit blew up, and it made Joe Budden a lot more money. Got him to where he is right now. I don't know if I remember the interview where he kind of ignored the Migos and was just like, "Yo," and it blew up.
They stood up, right?
Yeah.
By responding to it, you breathe more fire into it.
Yeah.
And Joe is just doing what he's running a podcast, and he talks about music all the time. It's exactly what he does.
But the song they made called Joe Budden, that shit went crazy on the charts. The Migos, they made a song called Joe Budden.
Yeah, and like Joe has battle accolades. He's had back and forths with a lot of people.
Shout out to impressing Champagne Poppy's Button too. You know what I'm saying? That nigga went hard. Even Baby got involved. Baby told him he's gonna shoot him or some shit. When Baby went all gangster on him, like, you know who you fucking with, nigga. This is on Gladys.
You know how Budden is.
Rappers gotta stop getting violent.
Yeah, man. This internet's killing them.
All right, let's keep it with the music.
But yeah, that's my thing is like there was a time where Joe dissed Drake on Wax and Drake never responded, and now it's like you're responding in the notes, the comments section under his podcast clip.
Maybe Drake is in the kitchen right now cooking up his Joe Budden song.
It's gonna be a freestyle cameo on somebody else's track, like Nicki Minaj featuring Drake, and it's gonna be 4 bars that mention something that's subliminally.
We'll see. It's Drake.
To be
he
continued.
could do that with Wheezy, and it'll be a real problem.
Yeah,
true.
Don't let Weezy get involved.
Weezy's got some of the.
Don't let Mr. Millie get in there. But speaking, let's keep moving in the hip hop direction. We got another story in this category.
Sort of. It's local news.
It's local news at the same time. So
hip hop
news. If it happened in the streets, it happens in John Bloom's motherfucking block. So, yo, tell Streets to load that back in the house. Lodanians for life. Cul-de-sac boys. Yo, man, so one of our favorite DJs is right now facing some things, man. So I'm going to read you a little bit.
One of your favorites.
Well, yeah. Whoa.
Banana Republic stuff.
Yo, so check it out. So check it out, man. So DJ Envy is facing real estate scam allegations. Everything you need to know what's going on right now with DJ Envy and this scam that's going on in these streets. 5 months ago, after an Instagram account first accused New York City radio host DJ Envy of being complicit in a multi-million-dollar real estate investment scam in New Jersey. God damn on them goddamn big words. I hit them though.
Nailed it, bro.
The situation has turned into a sprawling web of lawsuits, countersuits, bankruptcies, and media coverage because Jhanboom got involved in that shit. In at least 20 civil cases filed in recent months, dozens of investors, 20 of them motherfuckers, dozen of investors claimed that Cesar Pena and his wife, Jennifer Pena, from New Jersey, let's see here one more time, developers with famous friends ripped them off, either through failed house flipping, a stalled apartment development project, or a startup they said would empower small investments in their real estates. God damn. Now, if you want to know who Mr. Cesar Pena is, Pena has, let me see here. Pena has long pitched himself a real estate guru, frequently posting about his work to a star-studded Instagram page featuring shots of Pena with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Jhanboom, allegedly, Post Malone, and Meek Mill on his motherfucking website. He's been rehabbing and flipping homes in the Garden State for over a decade. He claims to own 1,100 rental properties in the Patterson area. One of the celebs frequently pictured with Pena was DJ Envy, who, as you know, he's from the Breakfast Club, a New York Power 105, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking show. As recent as June 2022, Pena made an appearance on the Breakfast Club to plug an investment platform he was launching called Flip 2, which would allow users to make small fractional investments in real estate projects. Through the interview, Envy repeatedly touted his relationship with developers. As you know, a bunch of shit going down. So pretty much DJ Envy pretty much co-signed him and his deals and investment in properties. And at the end of the day, people were scammed. One motherfucking family was scammed almost $200,000 they invested into these small apartments, ran down remake apartments in Patterson, which the money ain't coming. Now you got 20 lawsuits against my man. So, and me, I feel a little, personal about this because, you know what I'm saying? I report local news of good stuff, help them out in my community. I'm not here trying to get people in different cul-de-sacs of Lodi for a little 20. You know what I'm saying? It's just fucked up, man. Chris Pena out here already damaging Patterson, how bad Patterson already is. He's out there scheming too. He's down with Melendez and them too, because I know them motherfuckers is out here. They try to rip off Patterson.
Melendez holding it down for the crime family. God damn.
So at the end of the day, man,
Andy can probably get my vote.
Melendez.
But yeah,
yo, listen, I saw a report on this story,
right,
and it was pretty in depth. I don't remember all of it, but they were saying basically the guy originally wanted the couple that wanted to invest, they were kind of on the fence about it, and apparently they had a lunch with Envy and the other guy.
Word.
And they showed them another venture that the guy was working on, and claimed it was making a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. And this guy, they were supposed to be making profit right away.
Ooh,
so the guy,
okay.
after that conversation, said, you know what? I'm going to invest. He invested like $500,000.
Wow.
And then COVID hit. And they used COVID to kind of drag out, like, okay, now, construction's kind of at a halt, which probably was maybe legit at the time for some of that. But then afterwards, supposedly the guy had at one point said, okay, construction's back on. The guys are there working. They're working
still
around the
tying it
clock.
along.
Word
and
up.
there wasn't jack shit happening. And, not ended up where it did here along the way, which is this guy lost a shitload of money on his investment.
damn.
And I heard, I don't know if it's true because now so many days have passed, but I heard that basically like people were saying Envy hadn't addressed it. He hadn't come out. He has a radio show. Why didn't he talk about it? But maybe by now he has.
Yeah,
addressed
the
it.
news report I saw was at least painted it as though Envy
Yeah,
and his
now he
wife
is
were
speaking.
saying that
Right
they
on.
were unaware and they got
False
as
claim.
Well,
Pretty much,
I don't know.
cosign is something he researched well.
Yeah, at
feel me?
best, at worst,
Yeah,
he was
worst.
in on the con.
Cause
It's like one of our really bad stories.
But yeah, so that was the one thing. The other thing, the news report I saw they were talking to a dude who owns a shop in Lodi, which I know jhanboom got a report on this because
Shit,
of
man.
that.
Mechanic shops, every shop.
And then the other thing was somebody mentioned that the dude was selling them on a piece of real estate that he didn't even own, which at that point you are straight conning. There's no, we miscalculated because they're trying to do one of those. Like the money's still going to come if you wait. Keep waiting,
Yeah,
It's
and
like, damn.
this is like I kind of feel for the couple that invested all that money because it's not easy to accumulate that much money to be able to invest.
Right on.
And when you do accumulate that money and you're ready to invest it, you're thinking, I'm doing something that's going to set me up. This is gonna be a positive on my financial life.
Yeah.
And you are taking a risk, obviously, with an investment. But when that risk, has the scam associated part to it, that's not fair.
Fucked up.
And to lose so much money, $500,000.
That's
you
crazy.
Yeah, so
No,
I gotta see more details before I give
It's still-
DJ Envy a pass, man.
Yeah,
That's
man. The
messed up.
story's
I
still
feel for these
developing.
people.
Shit's still happening. DJ Envy, man. You should have researched this shit, you son of a bitch. What you doing out here? And there we
least-
go.
To me, if you're rocking with those size investments,
Maybe
you
his
gotta be doing
20,000
some
and come
research,
in.
man.
Come on, man. He
You
owns a
gotta
car
know
show.
better. He knows better.
I don't know.
I
You
don't
know
know.
better.
I'm skeptical, man.
Envy's always in denial of shit. There's always trying to catch him, but nothing has stuck to him 100%. This one, if it does, you know what I'm saying? We need to get him off the motherfucking Breakfast Club.
We'll come back around and see where Envy, and then we'll see what Charlemagne has to say about it.
Yeah.
And
Pow.
on a positive note,
Let's get it.
we still have DJ Eclipse.
Oh,
There we go.
let's get it.
DJ Jazzy's Jeff didn't
Pow.
slap anybody. He's doing it right, bro.
For the
Shout out to
Listen,
DJ Jazzy.
DJ Jazzy Jeff is so much better than a lot of people think
So
or give
slept
him
on.
credit for.
For sure.
He's
He
dope
is
as
a
fuck.
master DJ,
Pow.
master producer. That man is
Have you seen
amazing.
the clip of him kicking off the show with Hey Ma? Because the way he kicks
Yeah.
that off is so hype. That's
Yeah, he
such
does
a
that shit
sick
dope.
opener.
That is dope. Yeah, shout out to DJ Jazzy Jeff.
He's down with Will
Shout
Smith.
out. Speaking of that, I had shouted out Natural Elements earlier. Prior to this single they just dropped, they had put out a song a while back, shouting out all the DJs. That was around the 50th hip hop.
that's dope.
You haven't heard that track?
Nope.
I gotta play that track for you. I'll get that later after the show. But it's the three of them shouting out all the old school DJs over time through our hip
That's
hop,
sick.
and it's dope. It's probably one of the better DJ prop songs I've heard.
That's sick. Actually, speaking of that too, Paramount has a documentary called Mixtape, all about the mixtape DJs and how mixtapes came to be, the role they played in the culture, and the way mixtapes evolved, how they were used over time.
yeah.
It's a really good documentary. It's a super dope blast in the past and nostalgia trip.
Here we go. So let's turn the dial just a little bit. We got a little bit of time left, and coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we always got to do this. We're gonna talk a little tiny bit about MMA and UFC. UFC 294 coming up next week. For those of you who don't know, that was going to be the rematch between Islam and Charles Oliveira. And also on that card was supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa as the co-main.
Okay.
Now, since recent news, we've had some major changes to that card, and it was the two main and co-main event fights.
For sure.
Now we have Islam Makhachev facing Alexander Volkanovski.
That's the number 1 and number 2 pound for pound fighters, rematching from one of the most debated decisions of the year.
Absolutely. One of the most desired rematches for the hardcore MMA community. And we weren't expecting this fight, so this was blessed to us by the MMA gods.
That's good.
Charles out. We would have loved to see that, but this feels good. This is a crazy fight. Volk's got 11-day notice. He's moving up in the weight class again. And just to a little bit about what's been going on in his life, Volk had surgery 3 months ago on his elbow,
I think it was elbow.
And he's got a newborn baby that was just born a month ago. Now he's flying across the world, 11 days notice to take on his toughest challenge, moving up a weight class, the number 1 and number 2 pound for pound in the world.
In Abu Dhabi, which is a tough climate for your body to adjust to. It's
doesn't
very
get much better than that.
Adjust.
And Islam is no joke, and not to take nothing away and put it like, this is all on Alex. It's also on Islam because he was training for the complete opposite opponent, getting ready for that. And now he has, who was his most toughest recent opponent.
A guy that people think beat him. Like, people argue
a lot of people give him
Volk won the first fight.
A lot of people give Volk that fight.
Yeah, and I think the knockdown in the first round is what gives Islam that fight, essentially. But
someone's ass is grass.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those fights where it'll be fun to watch the adjustments. And I think the big thing about Islam having to adjust is, like, Volk is this shorter, very precise striker who's very in and out. Whereas Charles Oliveira, he's going to come forward. He's a longer, lankier fighter. So the preparation was probably completely different for this type of fight.
Yeah.
So they're both going through what's probably complicating it, and they're tough opponents for each other. It's going to be a really fun chess match to watch.
Yeah. I hope it's a fun, long fight, but we'll see. And then for the co-main, Paulo Costa, unfortunately out. This was a really, this was a rivalry, man. They were going back and forth. These two guys hated each other, so we were all anxious to see this fight. Unfortunately, Costa, staph infection, I believe, something like that. He ended up having to have 2 surgeries, and he's going to be required to have a third. And he has been replaced by none other than Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare.
Oh shit!
Former champion,
pound for pound, one of the top 5 guys for a long time,
and one of the few guys willing to take on Chimaev on such short notice.
Yeah, short notice at a weight class above his, and it's not like a lot of weight classes are 10 pounds up. This is a 15-pound jump.
Gotta be ready all the time.
Lightweight to welterweight and welterweight to middleweight is a tough jump for these guys.
Yeah, man, and I'm really happy to see this fight go down. A great spot for Kamaru to be in after his last run of fights. Guys does not have an easy fight on his record, and he's dominated the majority of those fights. And
but he's also on a 2-fight losing streak because of the Leon Edwards fight. So this is a huge risk because he's fighting a newcomer, essentially, like a new guy in the
upper weight class, big guy,
much bigger,
heavy wrestler.
Yep, on short notice. And if he goes 0-3, that's when people start talking a lot of nonsense.
We're doing submission? Submission? You think my man's going to win by submission?
No, I don't. I think that that's probably not going to be the way this is won.
Okay.
This will go, if this goes long and, Kamaru's tank hangs in there, he may have a chance to pull this out. But I don't know if this is a 5-round fight. Do you know if this is a 5-round?
I think it's 3. I think I think a lot of it plays into Khamzat's advantages. You know, he gets to be bigger. He's not going to be as weight drained. He's you know,
one thing
Khamzat
has proven is that he's got a chin and a half.
Yeah.
So
and he's got good hands. I think he might have an advantage standing with Kamaru, and I think that's where he might have. Why wrestle with somebody that's that?
We'll also see what Kamaru goes in there. Is he going to go in there aggressive and going for the kill, or is he going to be a little more reserved? And also, Kamaru's probably been more used to fighting 5-round fights. So if this is a 3, maybe he takes it on a little different.
Yeah, that's true.
So we will see. But I am looking forward to UFC 294. There's some other great fights on that card. I'm not going to mention them all now. But I did briefly want to say that immediately following UFC 294, we have one of the biggest, craziest fights coming up in UFC 295, which is taking place in Madison Square Garden. And that is going to be Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic.
Okay.
So we are looking forward to that. And we're also looking forward to, hopefully we can get in on some of the fun, all the UFC events that'll be happening that week locally, all the meet and greets, the press conference. Hopefully we can get in on that. That'll be nice. We'll get some footage and hopefully talk to some people there.
That is more and more sounding like Jon Jones's retirement fight. It always seemed like set up to be that. I think Gordon Ryan has been training with him. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, very decorated
he's the
grappler.
best.
He's the best grappler, man. But submission grappler. But he kind of let it out the bag that it would be a retirement fight for Jones. I think he deleted the tweet, but he implied it. So I think there's a lot of signs pointing to this being the last time we see Jones. He's fighting Stipe Miocic, who is probably the most celebrated heavyweight in UFC history, at least. He's got the best record and legacy going. So that's an amazing fight. It's great. I think it's a few years too late, considering.
But y'all think if he retires, you think Jake Paul's gonna try to get him to do a little fucking dance with him, a last dance? I think he likes to go against retired guys.
I think two things. One, anybody who can get a fight with Jon Jones is going to be a massive amount of money, so that's great. And also, unless you are a killer, you out of your damn mind. That shit is just all for the money.
I'm not saying right now, but he's getting kind of cocky, that son of a bitch.
But he would do it for boxing, not
But
MMA,
even boxing,
so that
Jon
might
Jones,
keep him a little safe. At least it won't be as dangerous. I think there's a lot better chance. I haven't seen Jon Jones box like that to know, to be honest with you. Also, Logan Paul is fighting today, right?
Yeah, he is.
And somebody else, KSI is fighting somebody.
Logan,
Mike Perry, right?
KSI,
or Fury, Tyson.
Mike Perry,
Fury's
son's fighting
the KSI
Dylan Dennis.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Fury's son is fighting KSI.
Dylan Dennis is fighting. I thought Dylan Dennis got kicked out. No, because he hit him with the mic. I'm very confused about who's fighting him.
I don't know. Supposedly the fight is still on, then it's canceled, then it's on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was like Dylan Dennis, but Mike Perry.
All I know is at one point I thought Perry was fighting Dennis. I wasn't even sure what was going on.
Well,
so
who they want to fight. They know.
They're doing their thing. I don't know. I guess it's cool. I'm not a big fan of the quality of fights that they put together. Dylan Dennis boxing. That's exciting.
Sure. Pow.
Yes. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. That's going to be a wrap for us for today. I don't know if you guys got anything else you wanted to get out on the table while we got the mic on red and the cameras on red.
Yeah, man. Prayers up for Israel and Palestine. The whole situation going on.
You know what? There is something I didn't want to say. I wanted to say, I probably should have this at the beginning, but happy birthday shout out for Mario.
Well,
yes, bro.
for sure. Let's get it.
How old was Mario going to be? Do you happen to know? 55. The big 5'5".
That's big bro.
Happy 55th birthday, big bro. I'm
sure.
Guarantee he's been watching over us and leaving messages all around. I think Lou got a cheers on the way in to the record today. So shout out
Yeah,
and
for sure.
have a good one. Boom, you got to sign off.
Yo, y'all know, man. Shout out to everyone who keeps looking at us and clicking the button. Yo, we killed it right now. Little 7K.
Oh,
Charlie
100,000.
Ooh, 100,000.
100K views.
100,000 view, you know what I'm saying? Compared to 2 views. So shout out, keep hitting that subscribe, like button, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? DM me, send me nudes, all that good shit. jhanboom signing out.
Peace, Remy. You good?
Peace. Take care, everybody. I got it.
To TFP, the fan's perspective.